Here's the Fortunate Tramp, Chapter 18, entitled Sharon. Her name was Sharon, and he quickly worked out she was pleasant to talk to. The last thing Tom wanted was arguments. Getting to 50 had made him realize that life was too short to get angry about most things. He had to tell her he was sleeping rough and newly divorced, but he didn't want to go into any other details. Are you eating properly? She said. Oh, I'm doing okay, he replied, and patted his round belly. And then he added, it wouldn't do me any harm to lose a bit. All in all, he had a great time, and he was beginning to feel like he was part of the community. She asked him if he'd contacted the authorities for help, and he said no. He didn't want to bother anyone, and at this moment he wasn't sure if he wanted help. He just needed time to be left alone and sort himself out. That was something a lot of people didn't understand, but he was determined to live life on his terms. Finally, everyone went home and he was left alone again. Paul gave him a torch and he used it to read the books he had picked up from the charity shops. It was a great way to spend the evenings. He looked through the rucksack and found what he was looking for. Jaws by Peter Benchley. Like most people, he loved the film, but he had never read the book. When he was married, he never had time to read, and even if he wanted to, the soaps were on all the time, blaring away, so he couldn't concentrate. The first sentence gripped him. The shark moved slowly through the waters. He couldn't read quick enough, and the time flew by as he scanned the pages bathed in torchlight. He must have read 50 pages before he fell asleep. Dropping the torch by his side, his sleep was as deep as the ocean. Then a light shone on his face. He woke startled and half asleep. A hooded figure stood before him. The youth's torch pointed in his face like a weapon. What do you want? Tom managed to say through his fear. Money, mate, all of it, and be quick, or I'll use the torch to bash your brains in, he said. Tom was terrified, and he pawed his pockets for money. His hands were shaking. He managed to pull out all the notes in a bundle and handed them over.